Hello, I'm Maddie Harvey. This is a video tutorial to go with my Little Golden Moments shawl. And this particular tutorial is going to show you how to do this clam stitch cast off, which is worked along the bottom of the shawl to make this lovely scalloped edge. So you're working a clam stitch as you cast off, and this one involves 7 stitches. The clam stitches that you've done earlier on in the shawl have just involved 5 stitches, so this is a little bit different. So I've got my sample here, and I'm going to start at the edge here when this is done in the main colour, and the first clam stitch that you do on the edging is actually a 5 stitch one. The others are all 7 stitches, but the one at the start and at the end are 5 stitches. So we're going to do the 5 elongated stitches, so that means wrapping the yarn around, twice rather, so that's 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to turn the work to the wrong side and we're going to work the clam stitch. So I'm going to elongate the stitches and move them across to the right hand needle and then put them back across onto the left hand needle. And then I'm going to do purl 5 together with an elongated stitch, and then I'm going to knit 5 together with an elongated stitch, purl 5 together with the elongated stitch, and knit 5 together, elongated, and lastly purl 5 together, elongated. Okay, and then I'm going to turn the work again back to the right side, and then I am going to slip these stitches over onto the right hand needle to kind of elongate them, and then put them back across. And then I'm going to start casting these off now. So you need to do this really loosely. If you think that's going to be tricky for you, you could use a needle that's a size bigger than the one you've been using to knit with so far. So I'm going to knit 1, and then I'm going to cast off stitches up until I get to 3 stitches before the marker. So during this sort of edging, we've put markers in, okay, so you'll have quite a lot of markers along the edge of your shawl. So once you've done a clam stitch, you're going to cast off all the stitches up until 3 stitches before the marker. And the way that I recommend you cast off is to knit 1, put that back on, and then knit 2 together through the back loop, but keeping it very, very loose. Okay, if you don't make it loose enough, you won't be able to stretch it out to make this lovely scalloped edge when it comes to blocking. So put the stitch back across, knit 2 through the back loop, put the stitch back across, knit 2 through the back loop, and just keep doing that until you get to 3 stitches before the marker. Okay, so I've got to the point where I'm 3 stitches before the marker and I have 1 stitch over here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit the next 7 stitches as an elongated stitch. So the next 7 stitches are going to become a clam stitch, a bit like these 5 here at the beginning. So I need to knit into them, making an elongated stitch. And when I come to the marker, I'll just take that out. One, two, three, four, five, six, so 1 more. Okay, and then I turn the work and I slip those 7 stitches across to the right hand side, just letting go of the second wrap, so elongating the stitches out, and then I'll put them back across. I'm going to do the clam stitch, so I'm going to start by purling the 7 together and doing an elongated stitch. And remember to pull up just to kind of give it extra length there. Put the yarn to the back, knit those 7 together, elongating the stitch, bring the yarn to the front, purl them together with an elongated stitch, and then knit. And then purl. And then knit. And then purl again. So you're doing it 7 times so that you end up with the same number of stitches as you started with. Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. So then you can take it off the left hand needle and then you turn the work back to the right hand side, and you can do this without elongating the stitches out. You can cast off to 3 stitches before the next marker, but I found it easier to just slip them all across to elongate them and then put them back over before I cast off. Okay, so I've still got this 1 stitch here from the previous lot of cast off stitches, so I'm slipping that back across onto here, and I'm knitting 2 together through the back loop, keeping it very loose, and I'm just going to do that all the way along till I get to 3 stitches before the next marker, and then I will do that 7 stitch clam stitch again. And what you'll find is that the clam stitch is then part of the cast off, and when you come to block your shawl, you'll be able to make a real feature of the scalloped edges, and that's why it's really important to keep it very loose. You can see these are really big stitches here, so if you know you're prone to casting off quite tightly, do use, you know, maybe even 2 needle sizes bigger. So there you are, and the details for this shawl are in the notes underneath the video.